Hi everyone, this is Diane. Thank you once again for joining me in my craft room today. I'm going to be doing some things for the Winter Gnome Journals. This is the cover you've already seen, and you did see me starting to put the second one together, and I haven't done anything else to that cover since that video. So all the pieces that I had laid out, they're not even sewn down or glued down even. I've been busy with other things, and I did some more destashing, and that's coming along. But so we're just going to do some more work on something for this journal. First, I want to show you what I got in a Happy Mail. One of my lovely viewers had ordered this set of pocket dies, corner pockets, from Temu, I think she said, and she got 2 of them. She didn't mean to get 2. I think they sent her an extra one because she only ordered 1. Anyway, she thought of me because I had just shown all of my dies. She knows I use dies, and asked if I wanted them. So she sent them to me. So I'm thinking, I haven't separated them yet, but there's 4 different sizes here. And I'm thinking that I might use these dies in this journal. So thank you very much, Cynthia. That was Cynthia from Connecticut that sent those to me. Yesterday, I tried to make some things with my Cricut. I had some snowflake things I wanted to make and some pine tree silhouette, maybe, if I could find them. I think I found them on a cartridge. I have the old school Cricut. I don't want the new one that you have to have a computer to do. I just don't want to do that because I couldn't figure it out, and I gave mine away. I bought one. It's a whole saga. My Cricut died, and so I bought a new Cricut, but all they had were these new fangled ones, and I couldn't figure it out, and I let it just sit there. And then I tried my old one again, and it worked. So I don't know what the deal was. And in the meantime, I had bought a small, like you can only put 6 inches of paper in it, from Facebook Marketplace. So it was used. I thought, well, if nothing else, I can at least make some of my favorite things on this little one. So I gave away my new one to a young friend, and she is having fun using it, so that's awesome. And I don't use my Cricut much because I seem to be having a lot of trouble with it cutting. So anyway, I got out the littler one yesterday to try, and I did this pennant, and it was not without difficulty. You can see it's a bit rough, and I had to do some snipping. This part down here looks great, and I thought that would make a cute upper tuck. And then I went to make one for the second book, and this is what I got. Not good at all. And so I don't understand what the problem is with, it was this way, I think. Yeah, I don't understand the problem. So I think I'm giving up on it. I just wasted a whole bunch of time working on this, trying to get things to cut with that. I put a brand new blade in it, and it was on the highest pressure, and yeah, that's what it did. So rather than just give up on it, while I had it out, I decided, I took some scraps and I cut some simple things. Those were just insides, and it worked. So I'm going to keep them, and I will cut a bunch of these little simple things that I like to use. I've got a lot of cartridges that will just do some simple things that I can use in journals. I'm just going to depend on my Big Shot and my metal dies for cutting out intricate things. So I cut out some pink things, as you can see here, but I got some scraps of something, colors that would go better with the Woodlands Winter Gnome Journals, but I don't know if I'll use them. So anyway, that was yesterday's deal. That was not fun. But I did get one. I'll use that one banner in one of the journals. Okay, and then, so today I'm trying to decide what I need to do. I did get to cut some paper yesterday, so I did get that much done. Let me show you the papers that I'm using, and then we're gonna work on a tag. Someone wanted me to show how I would use, where did I put them? The little speckly stamps that I have, and I said I wanted to try to make snow with them. And someone asked me to please show that on video. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. So if you're not interested in this, you can forward to that part. So I cut my pages from the Stampin' Up! Scrapbook paper with the gnome designs. I had a calendar that had some gnome figurines by Goebel, and it was a 1981 calendar, so I had a couple pages that I could work into the Winter Gnome Journal. That one, of course, is a skier, a cross-country skier. This one's a lawyer, but look at all that wood back here. It's Brum the lawyer. There's an owl. I thought that was cute. And then there's another one, so I only need 2 of them, I think. But anyway, I used the painter's masking paper that I have on a roll. You can get it at the hardware store. And I cut them smaller than the big size pages because I wanted different sizes of pages, and then I crumpled them up, and I'll probably do more to those. And I had some botanical pages I could use, some from Edith Holden. And here they are. Some, I love this one. This one actually says January on it. And then some from, I forgot the name of it, but it's a book that I just got in a Happy Mail about a month ago, maybe not, maybe a little longer, but it was seasonal, and it has poems in it and beautiful vintage looking illustrations. And I found a few pages that would go well with the Winter Gnome Journals. When winter winds are piercing chill. I have some handmade papers and some dyed papers. Now I got these from Emily at Vintage Polka Dot Shop, these grungy ones. And I love them. And then I found these that I had colored. I think they were coffee dyed, and then while they were still wet, I sprayed them with inks. So I chose some colors that would go well with the journal that I'm doing. This one has the blues and the coral colors, pinky coral colors that are on the covers. So I have those. I have some ledger papers. And then I think I did have at least some of them divided up. Okay, so here are the other papers that I didn't divide because I just purchased the digital and selected a few pages. You get like 25 or something like that pages in this kit, and I don't remember. I looked at several, and I don't remember the name of the shop from this one, but I will link it below. So I'm going to put, I think, 6 pages in each signature, or in each journal, I'm sorry, 2 per signature. But aren't they just beautiful? And a lot of the pages have snowmen. I don't think I brought the snowmen pages in here because I'm not using those. But there were enough of the other pages that I thought were really pretty for these books. So that's the pages. Those are the pages that I have. So I need to figure out where I put the snow stamps, because that's what I want to use here. Did I put them over here? Yep, I put them over here. Well, I don't have the card that comes with it to say what the brand of this is. I got it from Amazon, and I thought that would make good snow. So I cut out a blue tag with my Tim Holtz tag dies, and I am using this one. So it's heavily dotted up here, and then the dots get lighter as it goes down. I'm using this cornstarch bag. It's an Embossing Buddy, but I think it's just a bag full of cornstarch, and it removes, if you have oils from your hands on your tag that the embossing powder would stick to. It just removes anything that the embossing powder would stick to. And so when you put down your wet ink, that's what the embossing powder will stick to. So this is a Versamark pad. It's clear. It's a watermark stamp pad. You can stamp on, you know, just a colored cardstock, and it would just look like a dark image. Well, you'll see, won't you? Maybe you'll see if it shows up on this. It would just be a little bit darker, so it would be blue on blue. Yeah, slightly darker. But I don't want to waste time because I need to fill this tag up with snow before I put the embossing powder on. And I don't want the ink to dry. So a Versamark pad is also used. As I said, it's a watermark pad, but you can also use it for embossing. It stays wet long enough. And I'm going to take this other one that has, it's more of a horizontal, so I'm going to stamp it across. And it's got a concentration of dots in the middle, which I didn't want. I wanted it to be more scattered, but that'll be covered up. At least some of it will be with what we glue on top. So there we go. It's all covered with dots. And I'm going to put on, this is Seafoam White embossing powder. I've had it for many, 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 many years. And I just checked it for the brand so I could tell you, and it's actually Ranger Industries, but I bought it at a craft store a long, long time ago. So, can you see? You can see the concentration of dots there, but it's heavier here and then lighter, and then we get the bunches down there, but that part will be covered. I have this page still attached. I need to dump this back into the jar. Okay, got it. So it looks like I did put on a lot, but most of it goes back in the jar. The huge percentage of it goes back into the jar. Now, I'm going to go ahead and emboss this, and I'll try to cut this part out of the video. Okay, so now it's all embossed. You can see the white on there. Isn't that lovely? It looks like snowfall, and I love it. So I'll put these stamps away, and I may use them on other ephemera pieces or even just the pages of the journal. Then I took my gnome stamps, which I got at Hobby Lobby, and I stamped them. Now these are spring gnomes. I think they're Inkadinkado. I think this is their box. Doesn't have the name of it on there, but I think that's them. Inkadinkado. And they were available at Hobby Lobby. They probably aren't anymore. Hobby Lobby doesn't have a lot of stamps anymore. So I want to color these. These are, as I was starting to say, they're spring gnomes. He has a flower and a bee, and they are gardeners. But these are the gnomes I have, and I want to use them, so we're going to use them. I'm going to show you how I'm going to paint these, but I won't do the whole thing because I already have one painted. But I'll show you how I'm doing it. I have the water barrel brush, so you just take that off and fill that with water. And you don't have to have a cup of water to keep cleaning it with, because you can just wipe your brush clean on paper. And I color with my ink pads. So I'm just going to show you an example. I'll use the blue, and the color will come out lighter than what it is. There are two ways you can do this. Let me try this. While your pad is closed, it might not work as well with this because of how thick that is, but you can press down and try to get color onto the lid. I don't think I did. There's already some color there, so let me try it. You can squeeze a little water from your brush onto that and pick up that color. The old Stampin' Up! Pads used to work much better for that technique. So what I did on the one that I painted earlier was I just touched my brush onto the ink pad itself. And there are a lot of little details on these stamps, so it took me a while to paint. But, I mean, not that long. But I'm not going to do any more right now because, let me just show you how you can clean that off. You just brush it on your paper, scrap paper, until it's clear. And then it's ready for the next color. I will finish this little fella later, because I painted this one already. I did want to show you. The colors blend, they bleed into each other. You could wait until they're completely dry, but the paper itself, it just bled into the paper because I painted in the lines and then it just bled out, and I just kept that so you could see how it bled out. But I don't mind, it just looks watercolory, which it is. Okay, so there's that little guy, and here is a finished tag, or I have two of them because I did one before I did one on camera, and I have him, but he looks very lonely there. So I used my Big Shot and my Tim Holtz dies. I don't know what these are called. I forgot. But they don't actually cut a piece out. They cut into the paper. So I arranged them on this coffee dyed craft glassine paper. You can see they're cut out. So I just have to separate them from one another. And I used the dryer sheet. I've shown this before. I had my cutting plate, the dryer sheet, the paper, the dies, and then the next cutting plate. And I did use my little shims that are just a couple layers of cardstock to kind of help. When they're detailed, I use a shim. So I just wanted to show you how I pulled that paper off and all of these pieces stuck to the dryer sheet, so you don't have to read all of those out. So I just need to decide. I'm going to separate all of these and then decide which one I like best on the tag. I would tear these, but I think I put them a little too close together. I think one of those is what I want. So that helps cover up where the dots are too close together there. Maybe I could put that like that. I think I like that one. So I'll cut another one like that. So both tags will be the same, but I can use these in other places in the journal. Okay. I think he needs something else though. I didn't think that far ahead. I don't know what else he needs. So I have my ephemera pouch full of numbers. Let me see if there's a number, or there's some labels in here too, and some are labels with numbers. It's very, very windy here today. We've had assorted weather over the last few days. Never knew what it was going to be like. It's a little too blue. We had a lot of snow from Saturday afternoon all the way through Sunday early afternoon. And then yesterday, which was Tuesday, it rained. It snowed in the morning, but then the snow turned to rain, and it rained hard and the wind blew. We had wind advisories. I drove up to see my friend, my young friend that her husband used to be our pastor, and then they left the church, and then we left the church, and now we both go to the same church, which is really close to where she lives now. And I went up there to visit her and her 5 children. The oldest one is 7. Can you imagine? She just turned 7 on December 31st. And she has 4 little boys after her. And the youngest is a brand new baby. Anyway, I hadn't seen her in a while, except at church, and we don't have time to talk at church because, you know, she's wrangling 5 children. You couldn't see what I was doing with these. I was just placing them on there. And I wanted to get up there early, which I did. I was there before 10, and then get home before all the action started. It was snowing, it was flurrying when I was on my way up there, and it continued, and I could see the snow out the window while I was there. It was coming down pretty good, but it wasn't sticking. It wasn't that cold out. So I left, and it was a little difficult to see on the way home, but I managed to get home before the worst of it started, because we had heavy rain. I think I like that one. I know I was talking a lot about stuff you don't care about, but so it was really, really gusting wind last night, even after the rain stopped, and it's still very windy this morning. I can hear it blustering out there. I do like windy days though. So we're going to use those pieces, and I had some of these reinforcements that go with this tag die in my little stash, and I got out 4 of them, and I must have pushed one aside accidentally. I'm missing one of the dark brown ones, but it's here somewhere. And I can always cut another if I can't find it. So I think I will ink around the edges. It's a lot of work for one tag, isn't it? wasn't a very heavy cardstock that I used. And then I will glue this on. I won't take the time because that'll take a long time to get the fine tip glue on all those little pieces. And then I'll glue him, and I'll ink around this and glue that. And maybe I'll even ink the reinforcements. I think that was the wrong side. This doesn't show up much. Let me see if it's worth it. Yeah, I think it gives a tiny bit of a darker edge on there. I am going to glue these pieces on because I want to try my crinkled seam binding in there. I think that's a really cute tag. I could probably use a darker brown for this. Okay, and I have these colors of the crinkled seam binding. I think I'll go with that one. This is from the Vintage Polka Dot Shop too. I got these and the coffee dyed paper. So I will link her shop below, and I will link the shop where I got the, well, I'll link the kit with the snowy trees. So this looks like it's not just crinkled, it's dyed also. That's cool. Now this is a thin cardstock, and the reinforcements are a little bit thicker cardstock, but I don't want to pull too hard when I tighten this up or I'll rip right through. I hate when I do that. I have done it before. So I just usually pull on one at a time till it's tight enough. Okay, that's good. Then it will look like this. Isn't that adorable? I love that tag. And I'll make another one just like it. And then I'll make a couple more. And I don't know if I'll use the snow for the background on all of them, but I might. Because I can use these other gnomes. I can use this one. I was thinking about cutting the flower out of his hand. And I don't know what I'll put in there. And I could cover up the bee with a button or something. I don't know. We'll see. This didn't bleed out, but I think as I worked and it got more wet, that's when it started bleeding out. And these guys, I guess if I could just do these two, they'd fit on there. Because they don't quite fit, I would have to trim a little bit off. But she's separate from them, so I could use her separately. So anyway, these are little cute gnomes, and I'm having fun with this gnome journal so far. I want to show you one more thing before we go. I'm looking at my time. I've got time. So when I was organizing my room, cleaning out drawers in here, emptying drawers and kind of combining things as I destash. I had a drawer, I have a unit here. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drawers, so they're probably about 3 inches deep. And the bottom drawer is where I would throw all of my, look at all this, all of my vintage tape. And I think, is there masking? Yeah, there's a roll of masking tape in here. That's why it's so deep. I got this whole roll of vintage masking tape. It has no adhesive whatsoever left, but this is great to glue onto a page. And then I have this vintage roll of Scotch tape, which is sticky, but it is yellowed. And so I can use that. But all of these, there's masking tape and cellophane tape that came off of book pages, music pages, book covers, all kinds of things. And I have this little envelope full of little pieces. So I took them out of the drawer and put them in this box. And I have it in a little storage pocket thing on my door to my craft room. And I'll show you that when we do a studio tour. And I bought a Bible in this from Hobby Lobby. And I'll probably look for something more like this to keep all these in, but this is what I had for now. So this was also in that bottom drawer, and these were all mixed in together, and I did not realize how much of this I had. But these are all pieces from really old books when I take the books apart. So these came off the spines. Look at that. Somebody repaired that with stitches, this cracked leather spine. But even this kind of fabric that they would use inside the spine. And I thought, well, I'll just use those in some grungy journals, but they've just been all mixed up with the cellophane. So now everything is separate, and I have a lot more than I thought I did, but I can access them a lot easier. I hated opening that drawer and digging for what I wanted, so that's going to work better. So I'm thinking I can use some of these, especially the spine pieces in these journals maybe. All right, I think that's all I have for today. And I'm anxious to actually really get started on these. First, I have to finish sewing the covers before I really get going on the pages. So maybe I'll get to that today. We'll see. And I'll let you know in the next video. I hope that you are doing something creative today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.